Those who follow K-pop love to explore one ultimate mystery. In this massive star-making system, who exactly determines a person's fate? Is it the company's resources, the fans' love, or the artist's own destiny?
We are one! 안녕하세요, 엑소입니다!
They are scouted in their teens, endure the same grueling trainee years, and even share almost identical life trajectories and exposure in the first few years after debut. Yet, a microscopic opportunity or choice in life acts as a one-way door. Once opened, their paths diverge completely. In EXO, almost every member possesses the potential to be a standalone star. So why did the group absolutely need someone like Kai, who has stood at the visual center for 14 years, and simultaneously need someone like Suho, a leader who seemingly dials down his personal spotlight on purpose? Can these two completely different manifestations of value be judged by the same metric? Let's shift our perspective and break down the fundamental proposition about human organizations. Why does a team that survives a long cycle always need different types of people? A frequent controversy in fan discussions revolves around an artist's resources. Why does it seem like at any given time, one member gets more resources than the others? This is often interpreted as corporate favoritism. But if we look at it through the lens of commercial investment, the answer might not be so dramatic. An entertainment company's initial moves are actually quite similar to venture capital. It's an A/B test. Resources are distributed relatively evenly at first. Everyone is pushed out to try different or even the same projects. Acting, variety shows, fashion. It's a process of testing the waters. What happens next is rarely decided by the company alone. It is a ruthless filtration mechanism. The company dictates the first opportunity. The market, through consumers' attention and willingness to pay, dictates the second. Whether the artist can catch this wave of dividends determines their third and future opportunities. When a member triggers a strong market reaction in a specific field, the company follows this feedback, pushing more chips, what fans call resources, toward that person. Capital generally prefers to do one thing: continuously pour limited resources into the person with the highest return on investment. This is what creates the resource royalty in the eyes of fans. This is also why 12 individuals starting at the exact same line will see extreme polarization in their income, exposure, and brand partnerships a few years down the road.
Yeah, boy!
Throughout EXO's 14-year stage history, Kai has almost always stood at the center. Often, people explain this away as talent or a company push. But let's reverse the question. If it were just a company push, would fans and the market still buy it for 14 straight years? The camera might trick you for a few seconds in a music video, but it can't fake countless live performances, nor can it fool a picky audience. The reason Kai has been able to hold that spot is that he provides highly efficient visual persuasiveness. To an extent, Kai defined what an XO dance is. K-pop is a highly industrialized sector. A group's musical direction, worldview, and visual narrative are essentially industrial products born from the intense collaboration of internal A&R, visual designers, and brand planners. However, no matter how great the behind-the-scenes team is, the person who perfectly materializes those concepts into a 3-minute stage performance through their body, their eyes, and their tension is the artist themselves. This is why when younger groups cover EXO's classics, audiences always feel something is missing. That indescribable feeling is essentially the unique aura radiated by Kai and his members on stage. From another angle, the logic of mass communication, whether in the television era or the internet and social media age, dictates that media and audiences naturally favor explosive visual moments. A breathtaking stage snippet can break through language and cultural barriers, achieving exponential viral spread. Kai is like the sharpest spear in EXO, responsible for piercing through external information noise and driving traffic back into the system.
그냥 센터.
He has a crystal clear understanding of himself. A visual is often a aesthetic value, whereas a center requires dynamic command. You must have the ability to mobilize the entire atmosphere of the song and the energy of the members around you. Here, a more interesting question arises. Given Kai's outstanding professional abilities, why didn't SM Entertainment make him or another similarly dazzling technical core member the leader? A great company never forces its best programmer to become an HR manager. Similarly, an elite idol group won't force its most dazzling star to take on every role. Why? Because these are two conflicting competency models. If Kai's job is to push the organization forward, Suho's burden is to keep the organization from falling apart. If you've ever been a project manager or a mid-level leader in real life, you probably know exactly who is truly exhausted in a team. As the leader, Suho is sandwiched between the company and his members, a role seemingly destined to never satisfy everyone. The company expects you to lead the team in absolute obedience to overall strategic arrangements. The members expect you to fight for their rights. What's even more exhausting is that there are no off-the-clock hours in the idol industry. A careless remark by any member can spiral into a public relations crisis. EXO has weathered multiple storms, from member departures to dating controversies, and Suho has always been the designated person stepping up to face the media and calm the storm. In sociology, there is a term for this: emotional labor. The vast majority of Suho's work falls into this category: managing relationships, digesting conflicts, stabilizing the emotions of members and fans, and soothing external criticisms. These tasks have no clear KPIs. They can't be edited into a stunning 15-second TikTok to be widely shared. They are often invisible. This role isn't about creating amazement. It's about maintaining order. This perhaps explains why, over time, more and more fans who have entered the workforce begin to deeply empathize with Suho. In our youth, our eyes naturally follow the most dazzling stars. But once we experience the real world and understand the sheer difficulty of maintaining decency and order, we realize that what Suho provides is no longer just traditional idol value. It is an incredibly resilient, deeply adult organizational value.
Does anyone here know what Suho means in Korean? Wow. 이수환 선생님 gave me this stage name. By the way, in my company, we address Mr. Sumanli 선생님, meaning teacher. Suho means what? To guard. Yeah, right. So anyway, you could say I'm the leader who guards EXO.
To truly understand K-pop's leader culture, we need to look at the soil beneath the entertainment industry, the cultural fabric of South Korea and broader East Asian society. Many people unfamiliar with East Asian culture might find it strange. Commercially speaking, a member leaving a group is just a standard contract termination or job hop. Why does it trigger a massive public backlash in K-pop, often viewed as an unforgivable betrayal? Fans also wonder, how did SM spot Suho as the leader among a group of kids back then? Social relations in South Korea and East Asia at large are largely not based on the Western concept of a contract. Instead, they are high-density relational societies deeply influenced by Confucianism. Here, a group is not merely a commercial contractual arrangement. It is a moral community with undertones of a martial arts sect, demanding loyalty, gratitude, and mutual obligation. SM's choice of Suho as EXO's leader involved highly precise organizational calculations. Suho had a remarkably long trainee tenure, a deep acceptance of the company's system, and the most thorough understanding of the members' personalities. His privileged background meant he lacked that intense scarcity mindset, the desperate need to step on others to survive. This allowed him to willingly share screen time with teammates in the early days and discipline himself to swallow immense grievances. In this context, leader is never just an administrative title assigned by a company. It is a profoundly heavy moral identity. Every time Suho says, "Because I am the leader," he isn't just comforting fans. He is submitting an indefinite ethical commitment to this moral community. Time and again, when the team faced turbulence and external speculation, the company needed a person like this, someone who could not only hold the team's bottom line, but also maintain the orthodox legitimacy of the EXO brand on a moral level. People often assume that idols who achieve massive fame and fortune at a young age are simply lucky darlings, held up in a vacuum by a coalition of capital and consumerism. But in the face of immense time, a lot of that magic eventually fades. Sharing the same starting line and similar initial halos will only get you so far. When the tide goes out, as artists reach the mid to late stages of their careers, the things that truly allow them to cross the eras are no longer the initial allocation of resources. Rather, it's something much more foundational, a resilient and ever-improving professional skill set, rock-solid self-management without scandals, and a burning ambition that refuses to be extinguished. By dissecting EXO, we aren't just talking about a K-pop group and its members. The rules and truths found here apply to almost every single one of us. The team shapes the individual, but ultimately, the individuals reshape the team. In any era, a great team needs two types of people, those tasked with being the irreplaceable star in the spotlight, and those tasked with being the irreplaceable order outside of it. The former determines how high the team can fly, the latter determines how long they can stay in the air. The road ahead is still long, but navigating these 14 years has already answered time's questions. And what time ultimately rewards is never a single type of talent, but the ability of different talents to fulfill and elevate one another.